So that was actually the most complex sequence in the movie, both in terms of shooting it and complex in terms of the CG, the visual effects.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most difficult Marvel scenes to film.
This was a mistake.
For this list, we'll be going over the most challenging moments to shoot from movies based on Marvel Comics. If there's a marvelously difficult scene we weren't super enough to put on our list, please tell us in the comments. Number 10. Ultron Truck Chase. Avengers Age of Ultron. Stunt work sells the danger our heroes find themselves in, and Bobby Howland Hanton had to pull double duty on Age of Ultron.
No. Leave me alone!
Hanton doubled for both Thor and Captain America. Hanton claims the toughest part of working on Age of Ultron was as the latter character, particularly the chase scene where Cap tries to stop Ultron aboard a speeding truck.
Stop.
Filmed in live traffic, Hanton had to bounce off the truck's door, as well as ride it along the top of the road, which he says he needed to be on the top of his game for. Can't say we're surprised. Pulling off some of those moves makes him a real superhero in our books. Number 9. Lake Drop. Spider-Man Homecoming. Anyone who has seen interviews with him will know that actor Tom Holland is every bit as excitable as his character Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
Well, what is that thing? I'm starting to think you're not the Avengers!
So it should come as no surprise that he wanted to do as many of his own stunts as possible on Spider-Man Homecoming. However, there's one stunt he claims he's glad he wasn't allowed to do.
What the hell?
When Spider-Man first encounters the Vulture, the winged villain drops Peter over the lake, from which he's rescued by Iron Man. Holland was understandably freaked out by the stunt person being flown under a helicopter and then dunked in the lake. Maybe he picked up his own Peter Tingle.
And he picked me up and he took me up at like 1,000 feet and just dropped me.
Number 8. Archery scenes. Avengers Endgame.
Got a job to do.
Unique among our entries, this difficulty while filming came as a result not of the movie in question, but of a different one entirely. While filming the movie Tag, Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye, broke both his arms while performing a stunt.
Feeling trapped, Jerry? No.
Nice.
However, the trooper that he is, Renner kept on filming while going to physical therapy and foregoing pain meds.
Keep in mind, this is a man who's done 100 Avengers movies and been fine. And he does a movie about playing tag. Both arms.
He was not fully healed while filming Avengers Endgame either, which means that pretty much everything Renner does as Hawkeye in the film, including his famous archery, is done while getting over 2 broken arms. Hawkeye may not have superpowers, but we're not so sure about Renner. Number 7. Skydiving. Iron Man 3. One of the most thrilling sequences of Iron Man's third solo film sees the hero rescue around a dozen people who have fallen out of an airplane that has been depressurized.
How many in the air?
13, sir.
How many can I carry?
4, sir.
Although Iron Man himself obviously has some CG applied to him, given that he's flying, the other actors are actually part of the Red Bull skydiving team.
I don't believe a lot of people thought it could be done practically, and I'm like, I know we can do this for real.
A surprising amount of the sequence was achieved practically, with the stunt people wearing parachutes hidden in their clothes.
We spent about 2 months building all these hidden parachutes and testing them.
Overall, it took hundreds of jumps over 8 days, but the results speak for themselves.
That's one of my favorite moments in the film.
This was by far the biggest practical stunt scene we've ever done in any of our films.
Number 6. Quicksilver saves everyone. X-Men Apocalypse. While the film may be somewhat divisive, there's one part of X-Men Apocalypse that everyone loves. Quicksilver saving everyone from the mansion.
Some of them want to use you.
During an explosion at Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, Quicksilver happens by and saves everyone at super speed, with sight gags aplenty and some amazing slow motion. The entire sequence was meticulously planned out and took over a month and a half to shoot, plus all the visual effects.
It's quite elaborate. It took 1.5 months to shoot. Evan Peters worked 17 days on this one sequence alone.
There's a lot of work for something that lasts around 3 minutes, but this is what sweet dreams are made of. Number 5. School Hijinks. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Action scenes can be tricky, but the size of something isn't always an indicator of how hard it will hit.
Hank, what's going on with this suit? How much of a work in progress is this?
The toughest scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't one of the chase or action scenes, but instead the rather comedic scene where Scott Lang visits his daughter's school.
Awesome.
If only Cap could see you now.
Hilarious. What are we gonna do?
While trying to retrieve his suit, his current version malfunctions, making him grow and shrink to various sizes.
Come on.
Oh.
What are you laughing? Please, can you just...
Okay.
There were reportedly many technical details involved in the scene, as the actors had to work out their eye lines, as well as use a lot of props that were of various sizes. The whole sequence may come and go in the film, but for the actors, it took a long time to shoot.
Okay, let's go.
Number 4. Bus Fight. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Shang-Chi's fight aboard a bus is one of the MCU's most technical and exciting fight sequences. But it didn't get that way overnight. So much went into it, from filming an actual crash on location, to the fight choreography, to rigging up multiple bus rigs with detachable portions for filming, and then blending it all together seamlessly. It's incredibly involved.
Perfectly matching the stunts, camera work, and visual effects in these shots was just one of the challenges in creating this 6.5-minute fight sequence that took an entire year to make.
Despite the fight lasting nearly 7 minutes on screen, the scene took roughly a year to shoot in its entirety. Unlike the villain's fist, there's nothing razor thin about how amazing this fight turned out though. Number 3. Catching Lunch. Spider-Man. Not everything from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie holds up. CGI back then wasn't what it is today. But one of the more memorable moments of Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker exhibiting his powers was done entirely practically. In the cafeteria, Peter saves Mary Jane Watson from slipping and falling, while also catching all her food from her falling lunch tray.
Wow, great reflexes.
This whole sequence was achieved practically. As you can imagine, it took a long time to get right though. In total, a full 16-hour day of shooting and 156 takes in fact. Nice going, Tiger.
Well, see ya.
Number 2. Mirror Dimension Chase. Doctor Strange. One of the most memorable aspects of this mind-bending film are the scenes set in the mirror dimension, where reality bends and warps in bizarre ways.
That is hilarious.
Naturally, the scene where Doctor Strange and Mordo are pursued through this dimension in New York was highly technical. Along with lots of pre-visualization and planning, the actors had to run on treadmills to simulate running on unstable ground, as well as get dropped onto a bus, which was done for real. Then there's all the special effects that went into the insanely trippy scene. The filmmakers actually had to cut the sequence down because the events became too confusing and abstract for test audiences.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Final Battle. Avengers Endgame. Yes, this is rather obvious when you think about it. The climax of Avengers Endgame is one of the most complex and massive battle sequences ever put on film, involving dozens of big-name actors, stunt people, and more special effects than you can shake an Infinity Gauntlet at.
Don't worry. She's got help.
The VFX in particular took around 1,400 artists to produce, and it took them about 16 weeks to complete them all. And with so much going on screen at once, having to stitch together practical stunt work, actors' faces, and digital creations, we fully believe it. This crew must have had their own Avengers Assemble moment.
Avengers! Assemble.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.